Welcome back to the second in the series of our versus matches. Now, you seem to enjoy the Drayton one. A few of you were a bit dubious about venue choice, so I'll let Joe explain a little bit where we've come.
Yeah, you gave us a bit of stick. Well, a very small minority of you gave us stick. We went to a venue that was stupidly easy. But if you're going to start a new series, which needs lots of fish and lots of bites, of course you're going to go somewhere prestigious. But we've ramped it up. We've brought the challenge a bit higher. We've stepped it up a level. And we've come to Barston Lakes.
Yeah, so for any of you that haven't heard of Barston Lakes, it's around the Birmingham sort of area, and it's basically a northern Drayton reservoir. Actually, no, I think Drayton's about the same amount north. I'm rubbish with geography. Anyway, it's been host to the BCAC on quite a few occasions, I believe. So basically, it's rammed with fish. Now, we are coming into December now, putting the excuses straight out there.
You got to.
You got to. It's very cold. We're getting nights that are dropping kind of around freezing, big thick frost on the ground. So excuses out there to start with, but yeah, all being well, we will have a lot of fish and hopefully it will shape up to be a good match again.
Definitely, and we've set the start time is going to be 12 midday and through to 12 midday tomorrow, of course. And we've actually gone for slightly different tactics, which we'll get onto in a bit, but we've kind of set ourselves the sort of rule that we can't fish the following match in exactly the same way as the previous one. Otherwise, I'd smash you a second time. Spoiler alert about the Drayton video if you haven't seen it.
Well, I mean, that's a bit full on, but yeah, yeah, basically you absolutely slayed it with solid bags, so you're not allowed to use them this time.
So we'll get onto our tactics in a bit, but we've got about an hour and a half to get everything set up, ready for the start of the match, and then we'll run through tactics beforehand. Fish just rolled very close then. Very close. And yeah, hopefully we have just as much of a productive session this time as we did at Drayton.
Fingers crossed, but first things first, we've chosen a couple of pegs. From what we can gather, this is the deeper end of the lake. There's a wind pushing all the way across it, but down in the teeth of it, obviously being this time of year, it's quite a cold wind. So we're thinking, yeah, it's nice and sunny. They probably will be in the shallows during the day, but it's going to be deeper down this end. We're on the back of the wind, and to be fair, we've seen a few fish show down this end as well. So we've got a couple of swims here. They're quite close together, but they both command quite a different area of water. So trusty lens cap to find out who's fishing what side. So how are we doing it this time?
I reckon lens cap facing up is where we are.
So Sigma side up?
Yeah, Sigma side up. This swim. And then Sigma side down is that swim.
Okay.
So I'll go first.
You'll go. You ready?
Mm-hmm. I want this side.
I want this side.
Yes!
It was at this moment that he knew. He up.
Have you ever won?
I don't think I've ever won.
Toss? All right, happy days. There's your lens cap. I'll pick it up for you, mate, because you've lost the good swim. Although the fish have shown out there.
They have shown out there.
This swim commands a lot more water.
Yeah.
Right, let's get the kit.
This is a fix.
There's a robin gone in my boot.
Oh, yeah.
A few moments later.
Oh, that robin done a shit in here. Okay, so my swim is the right-hand swim from this kind of point at the top of the lake, and the two swims command quite a lot of different water. Considering they're only a few feet apart, my swim definitely juts out towards this area of the lake, and Luke's goes out towards more to the left. So we've got a lot of water between us, and they're quite separate. So our different tactics should be able to be, well, be able to see which one works better really, and which area produces more. But to start with, I'm expecting it to be a fairly regimented bottom out there. I'm not expecting any weed or things like that, but let's have a quick lead about, see what sort of rough depths I get, what the bottom feels like, and find an area that I'm gonna focus on. So I'm fishing straight out, tree line, where the trees dip. You had a clip on there then?
Oh. Yeah, it might have been.
Always check when a mate gives you their spod rod if they've got a clip still in there.
Amazing.
Oh, you've got 3 clips. Well, there's a nice outtake for you. How many clips have you got? I've undone 3 separate clips now, and there's still 2 more in there. Right, let's try that again, shall we? Take 2. Straight towards where the tree line dips. I mean, I didn't really get any drop there. Very smooth. Go a little bit further than that. very shallow already out there. Yeah, I'm not really getting any kind of a drop. So I'm already sensing it's quite shallow out there. We were told this end is a bit deeper. Bit of silt out there actually. But on the whole, it's a fairly clean bottom, which is what I'd expect. So what I'm going to do is clip up at a relatively safe distance that I know I can fish consistently. Have a little lead about at that range, see if I can find any particular features. But it seems to me like it's going to be fairly straightforward approach. Well, loosely a spot found, if you can call it a spot. It all feels fairly regimented out there and not very deep. I was expecting it to be deeper than it is. From what we talking to some anglers down the bank, they said it gets quite a lot deeper up here, down to 11, 12 foot. Either we haven't found that area, or at least I haven't found it, or they were having us on. But anyway, where I'm fishing isn't as deep as that at all. It's only a few feet deep at most, I'd say. But that's my lot, that's the area I've got. Luke's, I'm not sure what his swim is made up of yet. He's a bit behind me as always, so he's not even leaded about. But I thought I'd tell you about how I'm going to be fishing this session. So I've wrapped out the rods. I need to wrap out all 3 rods before they go out. We've got only 25 minutes left actually. Luke, 25 minutes by the way. He's still faffing about over there. And I've prepped before the session because I like to be prepared before I get here. And I'm going for a naked helicopter setup. Now it's a bit of a cobbled together setup, but I got I think about 3.5 ounce lead there through to, well, just tied straight onto the main line. And I've actually got a tail rubber as the buffer, and then a bead at the top, which is held in position by a bit of putty. So it can move up and down easily if the fish gets tethered or whatever, or break off, but it's there perfectly for on the cast, keeping it in position. And then the rig itself can obviously just spin freely around, and it's dead simple, 15-pound fluorocarbon down to a D-rig. So it couldn't be more simple, and you'd be right in thinking that I've copied this straight off of Tom Maker. Maybe not exact setup, but I've just been out filming with him. This is how he fishes 3 on a spot. So I thought I'd give that a try because that's what I'm going to be doing. All 3 rods are going to go out on the same spot, and I'm going to spod some mix over the top. Because as we said at the very start, we aren't fishing in the same way we did in the previous match. Otherwise, I'd be on the solids again. But this could be a blessing because it's getting down pretty cold. Solid bags are fiddly, and this way of fishing should be a fairly quick and effective way of going about things. I can top up the swim with a spod rod, and the rods can basically stay out there until they go, because this rig resets itself quite nicely the way the fluorocarbon settles out. I'm going to be using a 15mm wafter to start with. Hopefully this does the trick. Just bait flossing that on, pull that down tight, and it's gone onto a micro swivel. It's not a hook ring swivel, it's just a micro swivel. Push that into the bait like so. Dead simple. I think I need to get some new scissors soon. They're getting a bit worse for wear. A little bit down. There we go, simple. So it's nice and quick to change hook baits. The rig takes probably less than a minute to tie up. So if I need to tie up some more, I can do, but nice and simple. So a little waft D-rig, that will sit nicely above the hook bait like that, and it should do the business. Nothing else, nothing fancy, no kickers, no shrink tube, just nice and fast and efficient. And fishing this way with 3 on a spot, like I said, if fish come in and I get done on a rig, this should reset itself better than, say, a solid bag would, because a solid bag is supple braid and it's in a little tightly compact system. If you get an aborted take with that, odds are it's probably not reset as well as this should. So nice and simple tactics. I'll get onto the spod mix in a bit, but for now, I need to clip these up, get the spod rod clipped up and get some bait out ready for kick-off. You can tell I'm a football fan calling it kick-off.
So as we mentioned in the intro, we're not allowed to be using the methods that we did in the last match. So basically, Curly has adopted my approach, and in a roundabout way, I've adopted his approach, but it is very slightly different. So I'm using a method feeder this time, and essentially it's a solid bag without the bag itself. So I'm going to be making up a little ground bait mix. I'm going to be using 𝘃𝗶𝗀𝗲, obviously a bit of a winter favourite, and then getting it to the right consistency so I can clump it around this feeder, and then simply a case of tucking the hook bait in and then putting just another little layer of bait on top just to hold it in place. What I've done rig-wise is I've actually used quite a stiff material. So the idea being when the ground bait starts to dissolve, it will ping it open like so. And then hook bait wise, I'm using just a tiny little 6mm 𝘃𝗶𝗀𝗲 pop up, and it's just onto a size 8 claw hook. So small hook, small bait, obviously amongst a load of ground bait. Hopefully that is going to do the trick, but we'll see. We're adapt as the session goes, but that is my go-to method to start with. I'm not really picking a spot because this sort of method, if I see a showing fish, then I just want to get a rod straight onto it. So slightly different. Again, with curly putting out bait on a spot, you're putting all your eggs in one basket, which is exactly what I done last time. It didn't work for me. So this time I'm going to be a bit more adaptable and move on to whatever I see really. So hopefully it'll be a nice easy way to get a decent amount of bait out onto a showing fish and hopefully get some quick bites.
It's basically the closest you could get to a solid bag without accepting that solid bags rule.
But it's still not a solid bag.
I'm gutted I can't use them at the moment. Right, we have 10 minutes left.
Okay, let's do it.
Well, there's only a few minutes left until rod's out. All the rods are clipped up with hook baits on. One of them I put a little topper on just to see if that makes any difference, but they're all pretty much exactly the same, ready to go out, and the spod rod is also clipped up. I want to get a few spawns of bait out before we get going, so I'm just going to quickly knock up my spod mix. Extremely simple: 15mm S-core, 10mm S-core, and then some micro pellets to get them grubbing about. So a couple of different sized boilies. I'm not faffing about with cutting them all up. Just putting the pellet there. I'm not putting any extra oils or anything. The water temperature's starting to drop, so it's extremely simple. But I've just got 3 different, well, the little pellets are all different sizes. They should get them grubbing about a bit. And then the boilies, obviously being the different size, mean that it gets them grazing around a bit differently as well. The hook baits I'm going for are basically exactly the same as these, only in wafter version. And that's it. I'm not going to bore you to death with all different liquids and things. Extremely simple. Doesn't get any more simple than that, but hopefully it's enough to get them grubbing around. Right, well, I'm not going to go mad with the bait. I'm going to do about 10 spods to start with. And just as the tree line dips to a lower level, that's what I'm aiming at, that last tree on the higher line. 17 wraps out, so it should be a nice comfortable distance the whole time. Bang on. 9 more and we're good to go. Well, I call that 12 o'clock.
Yeah, go for it.
You're still faffing with your method feeder. I got some bait out there waiting. Hopefully there's already some carp grubbing about.
God, genuinely haven't done this in years. It's probably 10 years since I cast a method feeder out. That's oh, caught around there.
Got a lot of leaf litter in the margin to try and counteract.
That's better. All right. So there have been a few fish showing slightly to the left of this swim, so let's ping this out. God, they do go quite well. There we go, 1 rod fishing. God, so many little leaves getting in the way, isn't there?
I know, just trying to
sinking amongst them. There we go. All right.
Put that one in the middle for now.
God, I've been so focused on getting this ground bait right, I haven't actually put bobbins on.
So that one went just to the right of the big tree I'm aiming at. There we go, this one to the left. Oh, that one's bang on.
There we go, there's one out. Let's get this next one made up. Now these are far from aerodynamic, but as long as it gets it out there, that is the main thing.
This one we go slightly left, just off the spot.
Good old tootie, nice orange cloud when it hits the surface. That's what we like. God, you're really getting into this day ticket vibe, aren't you?
Leaving them beeping. Now these are actually new alarms from Prologic. We'll get into more details on them at some point in the session, but for now, it's a case of trying to get the first few bites. Bring it on. What is going on with my handles?
Oh, no.
Sod it, I'm eating it.
Awful. There we go. Number 3 going out now.
What is that?
Oh, God.
Ready?
I'm surprised they go as far as they do. But, to be fair, that has been roughly where we've been seeing them, isn't
we've
it?
seen the fish show. We haven't seen a single thing on my side.
No. It feels
But I've
so
only got 10
shallow.
spods out, so if nothing happens there and I start seeing fish show elsewhere, it's not like I've...
Oh, you're not
filled
too
it in.
committed, are you?
No.
You can move your rods if you need to.
All those leaves gathering on your line.
I know. Not ideal. Alright, got to be time to get the kettle on, isn't it?
I'll do it, because you're still faffing. One day you'll get all your 3 out before me.
Oh, let's not get too carried away.
1 hour later.
1 hour? No, all 3 are out. Yeah. It wasn't an hour. Kettle's not... Oh, it has boiled. Can't have been. No. Every match?
Yeah.
You had the last one. Well, that was a weird bite. It absolutely screamed and then just stopped. It was one of them weird sort of ones where you're like, is there something on or not? I mean, it doesn't... Oh, that's annoying. It's just kind of coming towards me. It doesn't feel like much at all. I don't know if there's...
Creamy bite.
I don't know if there's bream in here. Nah. Hang on. Yeah. Wait. Ah, I think that... hang on. Yeah. It's quite a small common, so I think the method feeder is probably weighing more than the fish itself. Alright, well that's that one. I mean, whether there's something on this, I don't know. It's worth... I'm not sure if it's just a method bull or a common of that sort of size again. I think it might be a method bull. Yeah, I've got to sort the consistency out, I think. No, I think there might be something attached to it. I think there is. I mean, it's worrying when you can't tell if there's something attached or not. You know, it's not overly big.
Well, it's moved right, so clearly there's something on it. Unless the ball doesn't swim right.
No, it doesn't. Well, that was weird. There's obviously a shoal of small commons come over.
Oh, I see what it is. Superstitious.
I think this might be slightly bigger than that first little common.
You said it was a method ball to start with.
Well, I can feel something.
Said the actress.
Right. I mean, yeah, this would have been great in a different series, but when we're talking about weight, I think I might be up to £1 now with 2 bites. Still, we've got to weigh them. I don't know. Oh, I just wanted a cup of tea. Coffee. Right, okay.
At least I'm not behind by much. You may have had 2 bites, but... yeah.
You say that, they might all be this size in here. Oh, off the mark.
Moment of truth. Sling's been zeroed. Fish are coming out. Do you need a hand, or is it a one-man job or 2?
I'll have to get the waders.
Oh, hello.
Oh God. I'll try.
What an amateur.
I mean, that one's still got half the bait on it still.
Oh. Right. Sweet.
That's one out. Okay. Right, so
If I grab the net.
if you bring it over this way a bit. Oh God.
Gonna weigh them together.
I don't think the little one would register on the scales.
Moment of truth. Right as the plane comes over and a train.
Together, what'd you say, bang on 9?
Yeah. Well, you're straining a bit there, mate.
Bit out of shape, aren't I? Right, £9.
This, she smiles. See, normally this is the point where your head's gone.
Why would my head be gone when I'm £9 in the lead? Method feeder's working, 2 bites, double take. What more could you want?
Bigger fish.
Oh, right, back you go.
Oh, I'm missing the amazing release.
Oh, I want to go this way. All right, there's one. You gonna go?
There we go.
I find it hard to believe that was £9, but okay.
You did zero the sling.
I did zero it.
Oh no, how am I ever going to catch up?
Oh.
Well, Luke has literally just slipped back those 2 fish. He hasn't got his rods back out. I've sat down just to have my lunch. But this fish has had other ideas. This is on the baited spot. Obviously, I'm fishing all 3 on the same spot, but this one was on the left of the spot. And it's got £9 a beat. It's panning round to your swim now. But you've only got 1 rod out at the moment. And this feels a lot bigger than £9, so hopefully I'm right. Now I've just looked on the map as well of this lake, a bit more about the swims, because it's feeling very shallow, and I'm correct. Pegs 80 to 100 I think it is 4 foot all over, which is sounds about right to what we were thinking. And so we're not exactly fishing in deep water, but the sun's been up all day. And although we've only been here a few hours, it already looks like it's going to dip behind the horizon fairly soon. But yeah, get this in, which feels, if I had to guess, feels at least a double. Oh, nearly wiping out my other rods. Well, let's put it this way, it feels bigger than a method feeder. Oh, it's trying to take line. That's always a good sign. Well, you thought yours was a method ball until about 2 rod lengths out when it was kited right.
Yeah, yours is actually doing something.
Yeah.
Feel like record.
Now actually, talking about the tactics I'm using, this is the first time I've ever used a fluorocarbon D-rig. So it'll be a first for me. It's starting to feel smaller now, it's getting closer in. But a bite's a bite. And because I've got 2 rods still on the spot, if there's a few fish have come across that bait, I wouldn't be surprised if more bites come. It's quite shallow in the margin, so they don't dive down, they just dart left and right, which isn't ideal. I'd say he's nearly there. Here he comes. Come on, get your head up. Ooh. And this one actually gave a proper bite, unlike Luke's. This one took line. But how funny that 3 bites in the space of 5 minutes and completely different spots. Here he comes. And he's in. Ooh. And that, Luke, oh, net's come apart, I think puts me in the lead.
Well, we'll see.
That's bigger than £9.
Well, just before we get Joe's out and weigh it, I'm going to get this back out. Now, I feel like the texture's not quite right on this method mix, so there's a high chance it is going to split up when I cast it, but I kind of want to get it out. Oh, it split up, didn't it? Yeah, let's do that again.
No, we're including my we're including this.
Fine.
Such a rush because you know why you rushed.
Well,
Your head's gone.
my head's not gone, but it does look like you have taken the lead already within 5 minutes.
I'll let you have the lead for I'd say 3 minutes.
3 minutes, do you reckon? So yeah, sort out my ground butter mix, and then we'll have a look at your fish if we have to.
Well, I've just quickly stuck the rod back out to maximise my chances. If there's any fish on that bait, I want to get all 3 on the position.
Is it going to beat the £9?
Of course it is. 14. About to say 14.2.
No, it can't be.
14.2. Come and check. $14.2, $14.4.
14.2, yeah, you're right. Oh no, I've got to catch another small common.
Happy days. But there we go. First fish for me, and more importantly, snatching the lead away from Luke after about 3 minutes of him taking it. Sorry about that. But very, very welcome. Rod's back out, and hopefully many more to come. Let's get it back. Hello. Oh, well, Luke's just had a bite. Did it come off? Nothing there? Good. Luke did just have a bite, but his head's gone, so he just struck out of it. But I've just got my rods back out, slipped that fish back, and I just want to top up the swim with 2 or 3 spods. I'm going to do that each time I catch a fish, and hopefully it keeps any fish in the area or entices another bite. And also it could have taken some of the bait. I don't know if, I'm sure it wasn't just a sole fish coming through. So put this one back out. Hello. So 2 more and then leave it. And hopefully that keeps the bites coming. Hello. Today on CARPology, we're reviewing the energy levels of this dog. Oh, hello. Just about to film a piece, Luke.
Oh, sorry. Just had to catch a fish instead. Well, it feels more than a ground bait ball. That was a good bite, wasn't it? Screamed off. Oh, what do you mean? You're a bit sad.
This needs to be £5.
This will be £5. This,
£5.2 to beat me.
this will take the lead.
£5.2 to match me.
Yeah, this will take the lead. I'm actually quite enjoying using the method feeder again. Like I say, I haven't used it probably for about 10 years. It's one of them things that you kind of get into when you first start fishing, and the method feeders, the balls of bait are generally bigger than the fish you're catching. But I think if you refine it, it can be quite a decent tactic. In the
Fashion thing as well. Oh, what a mare you're having there, mate.
It is under, that's all right. That's fine, that's not a mare. Yeah, it's not seen as a carpy sort of tactic, is it, method feeding? But it clearly works for him. Like you were saying with your fish, it is so shallow, isn't it, close in? Mm-hmm. So they do just kite from side to side because they've got nowhere else to go. I mean, it is another small common, but is it £5 2 ounces?
Looks like your net's over there, mate.
It is over there, isn't it? I know you won't help me out with this, so I'll just wipe out your rods instead. Believe it or not, there are fish in here up to about £37. There seems to be a lot around £5.
That's close.
What, to 5?
Yeah.
Come on. There we go. Well, let's see where it weighs.
One for you.
Oh, thank you.
And sit down. That's been a mad start.
It has been. It feels like we've only just got here, but already it's getting dark.
I know. The sun's starting to drop down behind us.
Yeah.
But that's just this time of year. That's a
a
bite.
bite.
And there's nothing there.
Is it not?
No. Ah. Strange. It was like a drop back.
Oh, you...
You knocked your coffee over.
Hello, darkness, my old friend.
Oh, it was like dominoes.
How strange.
Oh. Oh, the Coke fell over and then knocked the coffee over. Oh.
Are they both still rolling?
Yeah.
Oh, that's a shame. I haven't touched my coffee yet if you wanted a sweetened coffee.
All right, I'll have your one.
No, you
Oh,
can
okay.
have a bit of it.
Go on then. That's karma for not having that fish then. Thank you. Oh, something to keep us warm.
Well, as you just saw, I thought I had a bite. It's a bit of an odd drop back. I'm fishing mega tight lines. So I think that was probably just something swam into my bowstring tight line, brought the lead slightly closer and made it drop back.
Yeah, they are
absolutely
very,
nothing.
very tight lines
Yeah.
you're fishing with.
I'm surprised that whatever swam into that didn't get catapulted out of the water. But like I said, I'm fishing in a way I never normally fish. It's worked so far with one bite. But yeah, you've just had one.
I've just had one. Yeah, we haven't weighed it yet. But I needed, what, £5 2 ounce to catch up.
To match.
To match you.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, 3 fish to try and match your one 14-pounder. It's a bit worrying, but hopefully there's some bigger fish on the way. A couple of little birds just coming in.
Chaffinches, aren't they?
Yeah, I think they are, yeah, little pair. So yeah, we'll get this coffee down us and then we'll weigh that fish and...
Which isn't going to take long, you've just taken half of mine.
Yeah, I have. Weigh that fish, see where we're at and title up the scores. I mean...
And I need to whip this back out.
Oh, you're talking about your rig, okay.
Yep, still razor sharp. I don't think that was a pickup. I think that was a
I think it was a
liner that pulled the lead back.
Trailer or something.
Never mind.
Yeah. Worst content ever.
This is what happens when 2 cameramen have to fish at the same time as well. Not a lot gets filmed, but hopefully we'll get some nice shots for you now. Like I said, my coffee is now done.
You say that like we've taken them shots already.
Huh?
You say that like we've taken the shots already.
No, I said we will.
Oh, okay.
Cue 10 seconds of beautiful B-roll. Okay, you're back. Let's go weigh your fish. Oh, where am I going? I need to wrap this up. Just walking out, exit stage forward. What's going on?
Your head's gone.
I'm winning.
Not yet. Not at the moment. So,
If this is less than £5 that's quite embarrassing. I think it's going to do it.
I think it might be less.
That's probably £5.
Free.
Oh,
It's done it. It's done it.
That's the most excited I've ever heard you for a fish of that size.
£7 2. Happy with that?
Yeah?
Yeah.
Whoa, that's close
All right.
up. That's a bit too close for the beard.
£2 in the lead. I've never been so happy with a £7 2 ounce carp. How about that then? Common perfection puts me in the lead. Fish number 3 for me whilst Joe's still trailing behind on one, but as we all know, it's not about the numbers, it is about the overall weight. So yeah, £2 ahead of Joe now with this little one. Let's get it back, get the rod back out, and I think we're going to refresh the other 2 rods as well for the night, just before it gets completely dark. So perfect.
£2 ahead with 3 fish to 1.
Doesn't matter.
I was filming. That is a bite indeed. I could almost swing this one in. No, I don't think so. Oh, he's off. He's trying to take some line. They all count. They all count. Well, if we got mocked for our previous venue choice and how easy it was, I think I can sense what the comments will be if we keep catching fish this size. I mean, it's pretty, don't get me wrong, and whether it's £2, I think it might just do it. Oh.
I think you might have the lead with that.
Yeah, if he stops moving around. There we go.
Hold him up to the camera.
Slip him in the sling, which seems a bit overkill. This is almost carry a bag territory.
Not that we condone that.
No, but you know what I mean. People weigh their fish on the rivers and that in some rud. It needs to be £2.
Needs to be £2.
Well, it's £2. No, it's 3. Just over 3.5.
Oh, hang on.
Just over 3.5. It's gaining weight. Yeah, 3 3/4. So what's that?
Yeah.
I'll give you about £3.10.
310, yeah. You've taken the lead again.
I've taken the lead again within about 15 minutes. Back you go. Off to fight another day. Straight down the middle. Oh, perfect. Now that's now going to be the middle rod because that's absolutely spot on. But I've also brought in the middle rod. It's the only rod that hasn't done a bite. I know I've only had 2 bites, but oddly enough, it's the one that I had the little topper on. So I've changed it over so they're all out on just pure wafters with nothing else on, no sort of visual aspect. And so I've got the other one just to whip out in a second. The sun is literally just dropping behind, as you can probably see from the gorgeous light we're getting casting across on the other side, and the temperature is already plummeting. So yeah, get the other one out, and I think I'm probably going to do another 5 to 10 spoms on the spot just for the evening, and hopefully we'll have a few more before it gets too cold later on.
Well, we're getting well into the evening now, and well, I say well into the evening, it's 20 to 7. But
Feels like it could be like 10:30.
It does, yeah. It feels like it's been dark for quite some time. And in case you couldn't tell from our Michelin Man style outfits, it's really dropped down as well. So yeah, the cold is really coming in. But just before dark, I've redone all 3 of my rods with fresh method feeders, and I actually put them kind of all similar sort of distance. I guess it's kind of like 3 on a spot sort of tactics, but I just thought that way I felt a little bit better than having just 3 randomly placed when I'm not actually casting to showing fish because nothing's been showing. So it feels like I've got a bit more of an area to concentrate on, and
That's a very roundabout way of saying he's slowly creeping onto my tactics of 3 on a spot. It happens every match. It's fine, Luke. You just admit it.
Didn't turn to solid bags last time, did I?
Not quite, but but you're starting to copy me on this session. Let's put it that way.
There's a reason why.
Yes, because as you can see, I'm grinning probably slightly more than Luke. But
yeah.
Luke, do you want to tot up the scores, shall we?
Well, I did add them up just now before we started this piece, and with my free fish, I'm on £16 2 ounces. Don't start this. Since last working out the weights, Curly has had a couple more fish, and he had a 13 and a £14 10 mirror, near enough a double take on it.
That'll be a bite then. Yeah, same as earlier. You had a double take, and then I had one, and then I had a bit of a funny occurrence, actually probably just on dark, and reeled in with a bream somehow impaled through its head. How that happened, I've no idea, but it gave a bit of a bite.
Dodgy rigs.
Hey?
Dodgy rigs.
Dodgy rigs, yeah. I've never used these rigs before, but he was nailed, to be fair.
He was.
And clearly I put a bit of bait out before it got dark. I put about 10 to 15 spawns out over the spot and repositioned all rods. And my horizon marker is getting a bit tough to see in the dark now, especially when we stare at these video lights for 5 minutes. But the rods are back out, and I've done a couple of bites, and yeah, like I said, it's about 2 in the space of a couple of minutes. One was in the net and another one went off.
Yeah, so yeah, basically that puts Curly to £45 6 ounces and me on £16 2 ounces, which I think is a bit harsh considering you've had 4 fish and I've had 3.
Yeah.
There's a big void there now.
But it could be down to the tactics.
It could be down to tactics. Ground bait, method feeders could potentially be a small fish tactic, as opposed to kind of
50mm wafters on D-rigs, fishing over boilie and pellet. So it's very, very contrasting methods, but you've very much a method I've previously kind of used with the solids. This one's, like I said, I've never done it before, but it's paying off so far. So long may it continue.
Well, yeah, and to be honest, before them 2 fish, it was about a pound in it, so it does show you just how quickly things can turn around. Like we said, the side that I am, it's a slightly deeper water, more so a bit further on, but if they have been in the shallows during the day when it's been nice and sunny and they are moving through, obviously that could explain why you had a couple of bites, and if they're continuing to move through to the deep water, then in theory I might get a couple of bites. So I'm kind of holding out for it, but
yeah. Well, with the stock that's in here, we're thinking if they're moving around in big numbers, which I imagine they do all year round just because of the number of fish, but as the weather's getting colder, they're probably going to be shoaling up even more so. So that sort of makes sense, the fact that we're getting quick bites and a couple at a time, especially when I'm fishing on a spot. If they come across it, getting double takes, I mean, it's not a completely, what's the word I'm looking for? I could get a triple take, is what I'm trying to say. Words completely failed me then of what I was going to say.
Yeah, it's not out of the question.
Yeah, it's not out of the question that I could get 3 takes in the space of 5 minutes if they move across me. So it'll be interesting to see how it goes, especially throughout the night, whether they move off the bait and move up, like you say.
Yeah.
And hopefully I can get a nice big chunk of weight ahead of you before the morning, because it's meant to piss down all tomorrow and I don't really want to be getting out in that.
Yeah, tomorrow's meant to be horrible, like heavy rain all morning, and highs of about 5 degrees. So yeah, winter's definitely upon us. So on that note,
some people will say it's still not winter, it's November, but there's going to be hard frost tonight and then rain. So I guess it's not going to be frosty in the morning, it's going to be wet and miserable, but hopefully my grin will be even wider. Time for a curry anyway.
Yeah, let's get some decent food in us.
Well, good morning all. Pretty bleak situation this morning. It looks brighter on the camera, if I'm honest, but no, it's been raining. It's the first time it's actually stopped raining in the last couple of hours, but extremely slow night. I had a take probably 20 to 4 in the morning, lifted into absolutely nothing, so it could have been a trailer or something, and Luke's face is as equally despondent as mine, so I think it was just as slow for him, which is a bit bizarre for a venue of this calibre and stamp of fish, but it's the way it goes sometimes. So my plan of attack this morning is bring all 3 in, fresh baits, and recast them as accurately as possible. I had to make a few recasts throughout dark hours, so I don't know how accurate some of my casts were. So I've got to redo them all, get them all bang on the money. Probably a few more, just had a beep on Luke's rod. Probably put a few more spods out with bait, just in case I was fishing off the spot and they did come in yesterday and cleared me off. Just turn off these night lights. But yeah, unfortunately, very, very slow morning. The sun's trying to peek through somewhere over there, but I think that's going to be the extent of our sun today. So before the next bank of rain comes in, all 3 are coming in, and yeah, hope for the best this morning. I'll hand over to Luke with his plans. If he has any. His head's been gone. Tell you what, mate, that sky behind doesn't look very inviting.
I know, I saw it just now. There you go.
Thank
Let's get this done quick because
The rain is starting to rain.
The rain is fast coming over us, and yeah, it's going to be a wet morning, I think, isn't it?
Yeah, what have you got your spoon there?
Spoon.
My sweeteners have not stirred in.
Oh God, in here. It's
Thank
not
you.
really a spoon, but. So you got your rods all sorted?
Yeah, that's all mine done. You know you
Yeah.
have, you just filmed me doing it all.
Oh well, you know, just for the sake of the video. Got your rods all sorted, Joe?
Yeah, I have, mate.
Yeah.
I put all 3 out on the spot. 2 have gone basically within a couple of feet of each other. 1, not deliberately, but deliberately just off the spot, if you have a look at the direction of my lines.
Yeah, no, I saw that
It
as
was like
well.
that all yesterday, and the one that was off the spot often did a bite, so... yeah, all good. About 10... Often, yeah.
Often. The amount of fish you've had this session. I think it done 1 bite, didn't it?
Can't give me chat like that when you're losing. Anyway, what's your plan of attack, Sleepyhead? Because you've only just sort of woken up with your coffee.
Sleepy, I've been filming you for the last hour. See, this is what it's like. Joe's in the lead, but no, Joe does his rods first.
You could have woken up and come over to me and said, Joe, I'm going to get cracking this morning, can you come film?
I could have done. I feel like this needs to be continued off camera. My plan of attack, obviously nothing happened last night, as Joey said earlier. So I'm going to refresh all the rods. I've been looking out kind of whilst I've been filming Joe, and I'm just not seeing anything. Nothing's really showing, so
Yeah.
it's kind of hard to be like, right, this is my plan of attack when there's nothing.
Not a lot to go by. And we had a regular that we talked to yesterday morning before we came up here. He was fishing all yesterday, did the night as well, and he popped up yesterday evening to see how we're getting on. And they're regulars to the point that they come up here for a bend in the rod, and they'd had nothing between them all day. So we've done well to have a few bites. Rain has just arrived. That's excuses done from me.
Black, isn't it?
I'm going to get in my bivvy and enjoy my coffee with my rods perfectly set up while you have to get yours ready. Cheers, mate.
Videographer life. What about your camera?
I know.
Right, well, I've got a couple of hours to make it happen. And I was thinking about putting the methods back out, but it hasn't done a bite for about 15 hours. Obviously, most of that has been darkness and overnight, but it just hasn't done anything. So what's the point in putting exactly the same back out, just in the hope that I can catch Joe up? So I'm gonna go for a new approach, and basically all the way across there is where the deeper area is. We thought we were in it, but we're not. It's still about 4 foot. It's far deeper, supposedly, under them electricity lines. So I'm going to go for chods. Go for a 4-ounce lead chod with a little 10mm white pop-up, and I'm going to ping all 3 over that distance because, like I say, nothing else is getting bites. Joe hasn't had anything overnight or since his last fish, obviously, yesterday evening. I haven't had anything, so why not try something different? So I'm going to put 3 chods on, get them out of there, a couple of hours to make it happen. It only takes a couple of fish with the gap that we've got, so fingers crossed it'll work. If not, I don't think I would have lost anything.
You know what you should become if you want to ever give up angling?
Hand model.
No.
Oh.
A surgeon for sex changes. You want to know why?
Why?
Because you like to chop and change.
That's awful. Absolutely awful.
You still chuckled.
I chuckled at how bad your humour is. Don't take that as a win. There you go. Oh, that's a bit flat. Right, so that is all 3 rods sorted. I'm feeling more confident. Now I've got them out. I mean, I have only got about 2 hours to try and bridge that gap of about £30, but it only takes a couple of fish. It showed that yesterday, me and Joe were kind of neck and neck, and then he pretty much had a double take of mid doubles, and then that's what put him in the lead. So that's all it takes again to flip this match around. And I think I'm more confident with the rods how they are now. They're in the deeper water, they're further out. A little white pop up, it's hard to resist. I think if I put the method back out, I wouldn't be feeling that confident. It's been out there all night. I haven't had a bite for quite some time, and neither's Joe over a big spread of bait either. So I'm wondering if either they're shying off big spreads of bait at the moment because obviously the time of year it's getting colder, they're not feeding so hard, or whether, like I say, they're in the deeper water. I'm not sure, but they're out there. I've got a couple of hours, so there's every chance for this to flip round. But I'm just going to take a moment to, obviously you might have picked up that this series is sponsored by Prologic, and like we said yesterday, we're going to be focusing on the alarms, which we've got with us for the session. So these are the new C-Series alarms, and they've been great throughout the session. They've done exactly what they needed to. I'm quite simple when it comes to technology. I don't want all fancy bells and whistles. I want them to beep when they need to, and I want to be able to adjust certain things. And these C-Series alarms, they do exactly that. Nice and simple to use, really simple to sync in with the receiver and a bivvy light, which Joe's going to touch upon a little bit later. But yeah, like I say, they are simple to use. You've got volume, tone, and sensitivity controls. You've got, I think it's about 6 different sensitivities, 6 or 7 different tones, and 6 or 7 different volume kind of settings as well. Nice and simple to use. You've got buttons all the way along the side, and to change them, literally is a case of just cycling through, like so. Same for tone and sensitivity as well. And another feature that these have actually got, which you usually get on higher priced alarms, is a little night light. So that sits just below the rod blank, and simply a case of one button on the other side turns it on or off. So yeah, really nice little feature. We got a few night shots yesterday, so you'll be able to see them actually in action. But yeah, like I say, they do exactly what they need to do. And I haven't told you the best part yet. It's for a set of 3 with a receiver and a bivvy light, it's under 100 quid. So to get all that tech kind of packed into a really cheap package, can't really ask for much more. They've done what they needed to during this session. They haven't gone off quite as much as I'd like, but there's still time for that. But yeah, overall, great alarms. I'll pass you on to Joe so he can talk you through the receiver and the bivvy light and how simple it is to sync everything as well.
So following on from what Luke just said, this whole package comes with a receiver and a bivvy light, which have a couple of different functions with the bivvy light as it connects in with the alarm heads as well. But before I move on to that, it's worth noting that we've used these for the last, well, coming up to 24 hours, and the weather's been pretty grotty at times as well. It's got down cold, it's not affected battery level, and it absolutely hammered down for a good hour or 2 this morning. No issues with the alarm heads going dead or anything like that, which some more expensive alarms have been known to do in the past. So they're weatherproof as well. Excuse the tray going past in the background. But like I said, it's got the receiver and the bivvy light. Now all of these actually take different batteries, it's worth noting. The alarm heads take the square 9 volts, the receiver takes 3 AAAs, and the bivvy light is fully rechargeable via USB. So all slightly different. This mounts to the roof of your bivvy by either a hook, or a magnetic plate. And I'll move on to that in a second, but I'll start with the receiver. Now this is dead simple to set up. As Luke was saying, it's very, very user friendly. If you're not someone that, well, if someone gets a bit baffled by all the tech that's in alarms and things and setting things up, sometimes syncing a receiver and things can feel like trying to crack a safe. There's different configurations you've got to press to get to it. Couldn't be simpler with this. It's currently off at the moment. Press and hold the on and volume button. That's now in a pairing up mode. Beep 1, that's synced. Beep 1, that's synced. Beep the last one, and that's synced. Press the volume button, turn it off. Oh, that's now on, sorry. And there we go. They're all synced. As simple as that. Now, if I turn this one on to off, I can mute the alarm head. Like so. So if I want, I can have it just coming through the receiver. So that's quite handy. You can do all of that, and it's as simple as that. And each time you have this receiver off, and then press and hold the on and volume button, it wipes any previous settings and you can resync whatever. So if you change your configuration of your alarm heads, you can sync them up in order nice and simply. Much the same with the 𝘃𝗶𝗱𝗲 light as well. There's two buttons on here, an on and off, and a brightness. Now these buttons, press and hold together, you then sync them up to your alarm heads, and then you can put the 𝘃𝗶𝗱𝗲 light in an on but standby mode, so that when your alarm beeps, it comes on. You can set that to delay, whether it's 5 seconds, 10 seconds, or 15 seconds, I believe, which makes it a bit easier in the middle of the night when you get a take, being able to see where your shoes are and things getting out of your 𝘃𝗶𝗱𝗃. So that's dead handy as well. So, like Luke said, for the price point, I'm not sure where you can get any better value for money when you've got 3 heads, receiver, 𝘃𝗶𝗱𝗃 light that does all that connectivity as easily as it does everything you want it to as easily as it does for that price point. Really can't fault it. And as Luke said, his hasn't gone off quite as much as he'd have liked. But yeah, we've got a couple of hours left. Hopefully we can get a few more bites before we have to head on.
Well, I'm not sure if this is a good idea or not, but we thought we'd go through the comments of the Drayton video.
Yeah, what can go wrong? We do read the comments. Some of them rile us up. Other ones we appreciate. Others are just pointless. But that's the internet in a nutshell. So we thought we'd rattle through some. And there's what is it, nearly 120 comments on it?
Yeah, and some of them are genuine questions, which are decent, so we will try and answer them as best as we possibly can. But yeah, do you want to kick it off?
Well, Jack Ince was the first commenter saying, yes, been looking forward to this one. So hope you enjoyed it, and thank you for, looking forward to watching it.
Yeah, Pete 𝘃𝗶𝗱𝗃𝗃,
I'd say, yeah.
Fishes Drayton a lot himself and can have over 40 fish in a day session with one rod. But that is surface fishing in warmer months, so well done, Pete. Yeah, we fished at slightly colder time of year and definitely didn't have 40 fish in a day session, but yeah, well done. Congratulations.
I'm going to read the next two because I want to get to the following one. Charlie said was fishing whilst you were there, so hello. If you were there, you should have popped round and said hello, but
yep, hi Charlie.
You had a few. And then Nick Flitter, man after my own heart. Stick to your methods. If you bait it, they will come.
I think that's probably aimed at what I was doing, though. Yes. So man after your own heart, but...
No, I mean, that's his comment is what I was trying to get across to you on the day.
Yeah, that's fair. But to be fair, we didn't have the time for them to come.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's cool. Carp Envy, when's round 2? Well, now. We're doing it now, so hopefully you've realised that this is round 2.
There's a few comments, like obviously we do pick up that it is an ex-match venue, so not all of the fish were in pristine condition. We'd never fished it before, so we didn't know what we were going to be getting ourselves into.
No.
A lot of them I thought were decent enough. It's a good runs water for getting a bend in the rod, and starting a series like this, you don't want to go somewhere that's rock hard. So we needed to get some good content and a bit of a competition going, which is exactly what we did. So, but the fish may not be for everyone in every session, let's put it that way.
But yeah, for the video that we were trying to make, it's obviously the ideal sort of venue. Stephen Davies, my head's not gone.
Head's gone.
Head's not gone. No. And yeah, Ricky, stick to your guns. Yeah, thank you. I did after a change. So yeah, I kind of realised that the pop-ups just weren't the one, and I stuck to my guns in a sense, as in carried on fishing the same spot that I've been baiting, and yeah, just that little tweak, making or using the wafters rather than the pop-ups. I think that made the difference, and I think maybe if I started that way, it might have been a bit closer. Who knows?
And you've this time, at least this time, you stuck to your guns, right? Oh wait, no,
so,
you've changed again, haven't you?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, sorry. So the next one was love the fishing curly, but I have to say the Lamb of God ringtone was more impressive for me. Of course, I think it's Hourglass. If you like Lamb of God, Hourglass, that was my ringtone. Very unprofessional. It went off when we were doing a piece, but.
𝘃𝗶𝗱𝗃𝗃, this one's aimed a little bit more at you. Well, the first part's me, head full, cleaning off.
Oh, I spilled bovril on my legs.
That's a good effort. But yes, more aimed at you. What leads work with the stems? Do avid ones allow different leads to fit?
So the tidy stems I was using are the Gemini tidy stems. We've done a few videos on these before. The first time we went out was a couple of winters ago now, I think.
Yeah.
So if you go back, we'll put a link in the description below to that video.
Is it 𝘃𝗶𝗱𝗲𝗲?
𝘃𝗶𝗱𝗲𝗲 we went to.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's 2 different diameter stems, or like for the bore of different leads. And I think they say on the Gemini website what leads work with each stem. So yeah, if you have a particular inline lead you'd like to use, I'm pretty sure there'll be one that will work for you. But check on their website, and they've got a whole list, I believe.
Yeah, obviously, so, 𝘃𝗶𝗱𝗲𝗲. 𝘃𝗶𝗱𝗲. Zigs work well, constantly spotting over a sloppy mix. I'm sure they do. I'm sure a whole host of different tactics work well as well. But we kind of...
We are restrained with time, this kind of time of year, and then trying to film each other. We can't fully fish or fully film at the same time, so a lot of it has to be sort of put on the back burner a bit.
Yeah. But yeah, if we go back, if we've got more time, quite a few comments have said about zigs, haven't they? And to be fair, it's not either of our preferred tactics, but if it works, it could well be worth doing a session using zigs there.
Congratulations, Joe. This is from Terry Waite. Well done, Luke. If you look on the bright side, mate, Joe only hurt your pride in front of 54,000 subscribers.
Yeah, I think that's 55 now. But well, I mean, I was going to say at least we didn't get many views on it, but we got over 40,000 views. So yeah, a lot of people saw my pride hurt, but I think I've got used to that now with the way you are around me. Constant pride hurting.
We've had a few suggestions for different venues and like in the tactics and things. Great watch as always, guys. Thank you very much. It's always appreciated when we get feedback like this, and brilliant. Enjoyed that. Would love to see some more, so hopefully you're enjoying this one as well. After 3 fish, I would have been on the solid bags, but I would have started that way, to be fair.
I get that.
From,
I do.
𝘃𝗶𝗱𝗲𝗲.
Yeah, no, that's a very fair comment. And again, if we were fishing and not filming, I probably would have gone down that route. But
no, you wouldn't. You hate using solid bags. You've said to me several times.
But they work.
Yeah.
They do work. And if it's one of them things, again, we're trying to make a video. So if me and Joe just rock up fishing with solid bags everywhere, it's going to get boring, isn't it?
Which is partly why we've gone for different tactics on this trip, is to try and chop and change. I would have been using solids here again if it wasn't for the fact that I've done it on the last few matches.
Yeah,
so I'm trying something different.
I've not used a method feeder for about 10 years. So again, it's definitely not my preferred tactic. But we like to try and keep things interesting for you, and we like to show you method balls falling off in midair and all sorts. Keep it fresh. But yeah, very fair comment that solid bags are working. Ideally, if you want to catch as many fish as possible, do the same thing. Yeah.
And what a lot of you need to understand, we aren't full-time professional anglers. We are average blokes you meet on a lake, but we film it all. So as you've seen from this session alone, my first cast of the whole session to let about, the rod was whipped out my hand because I didn't realise it was in a clip. That sums us up, all right? So I don't expect extreme results from us all the time. But here's one that we sort of touched upon at the very end of the video when it came to the amount of bait used. So Paul Taylor said, it must have been nearly £100 bait. Pretty sure you could catch for far less money. Well, like I said, the amount of bait I used on solids, I must use a maximum of a kilo for the whole session, all in, whereas you used a bit more. Yeah. So yes, there are different amounts of bait you can use, different tactics. So we did touch upon that towards the end.
Yep. Comment from Tavs, what reel is Joe using? You had the Prologic element reels, didn't you?
Glad you remembered that. So I didn't remember. But yeah, we talk about the reels in the video. That's towards the end.
Yeah.
So we should try Norton Disney in the future.
Yeah, that's a good shout.
It's quite a long drive for each of us.
It is.
But yeah, definitely somewhere for the future. Someone else, Ben Brooks, said that they do exactly the same with his mate. They try different tactics and see which works, and then sort of adapt to what's working. Yeah. Well done, Joe. Definitely seemed to produce on the solid bags. It did indeed. Yeah.
John Panter wants more difficult fishing, not around water. So it'd be interesting to hear if other people think that way. Obviously, the idea of runs waters is to try and make it a little bit more interesting for you. This is a match, so
and also this time of year, it doesn't make sense to go to a lesser stocked venue where the fishing's going to start getting more difficult. Proof in the pudding, we're at a lake which is known to have shed loads of fish in, and they're just not showing up. So I think if we went somewhere harder, we just wouldn't have a video at all to put out.
Yeah, exactly. Because that's the other thing as well. We're not in a position that we can film something if there's not quite enough fish or that sort of thing. Then we don't can it. You see exactly what we do. We've got 24 hours somewhere, the video goes out. So yeah, fishing harder waters, it's not like we can think, oh, we just go back and film again another time when the weather's better. don't have that flexibility. So it's kind of what you see is what you get.
Yeah.
And
I think it's the best video you two have done together. Nice bit of banter and fishing, can't beat it.
that's nice.
We've seen on a few videos since our last one as well that people are enjoying these sort of stuff. So it's good to hear. We enjoy going out. It's just two mates fishing and filming it, basically.
Yeah.
But rain's on its way, so should we wrap up a few other comments?
Yeah, there's one from Billy Smith. How did you peg the bivvies down? So obviously pegging bivvies down on wooden platforms isn't always easy. There's a couple of different ways you can do this. Either take a drill with you and a few decent sized screws. You can build up the tension and kind of peg it down that way. Or you can, a couple of companies bring or do like bivvy screws. So you can literally just, it's a peg, but it's a screw point and it literally just screws into the platform. So that's another way to get around it.
We're not just reading out the nice comments. There's one from old Greg here. Just shows how carp fishing has gone. That's such a classic line used in carp fishing.
Yeah.
World's gone mad. But people buzzing about a few manky doubles with a lake full of thousands and thousands of fish, and yet there are videos of Britain's finest carp on YouTube that have 100 views. And I'm not going to read the last abbreviation out. But yeah, fishing is different for every different person. Like, not everyone goes fishing for the same reason. Some people get enjoyment out of catching smaller fish. We certainly did, because the whole idea of it was a bit of fun between mates, catching as much weight as we possibly could.
Yeah.
We weren't going after British records for a match. So
yeah, there's only so much you can do in 24 hours, and
Yeah.
Burfield Common's not one of them. Comment from TA. A common out of Drayton should take the wind straight away. So
it was the only common, wasn't it?
it was
one
the
you
only
had?
common, and it was a nice common as well. It was only small, but it was nice colours. So yeah, basically I won.
Yeah, another Lamb of God one. I've just read Joe is the king of runs waters. Well, although I do fish some more difficult waters, I'm on a syndicate as well. I do like to dabble every now and then, going back to my local day tickets for a bit of fun.
We were talking about this, and
Yeah.
you do love a day ticket. Fort Please a good shout for a new video. What else we got?
Had to go somewhere Luke could catch from Ian Bishop. Still struggle.
That's lovely. David Hill, really a cheesy what's it will catch there. Give it a rest, will you? I'm not sure what we need to give a rest, but we will try that in the future. Either a cheesy what's it or giving it a rest.
Anyway, I think the rain's about to hit us
yeah,
pretty
this
hard.
is
The
insane.
exposure's probably completely gone out of whack. There's a few more comments, so we do read them all. And I think I'm pretty much to the top now anyway. But a lot of you have enjoyed it. Here comes the wind and rain, right on cue. I'm going to finish my bovril in my bivvy.
Yeah. 12 o'clock.
Yep, mine's reading the same. Well,
Right.
30 seconds technically, but I think we'll call it there.
You win this one.
I did, again.
Again.
Same.
Ah.
Well, hasn't quite gone as we expected.
No. No, it hadn't, but
But at least we didn't blank.
we didn't blank. Oh, and there seems to be a bit of a theme. There we go. Me getting snagged on things on the way in.
Or they did say it shelves quite quickly over there, so it could be that you're coming up the back of it.
Yeah, it could well be.
Should we just copy and paste the outro from the last match? You put up a good fight.
Oh, I didn't. Neither of us did. You
No.
might have won, but neither of us put up a good fight.
Is a hollow victory, because we did expect it to be a bit more prolific than it was.
Yeah.
But then again, with the first time going anywhere, even lakes like this can throw you a curveball. You shouldn't come to a venue expecting to tear it up.
No, I mean, we were talking about it earlier, weren't we? And kind of, did we do much wrong? Like we turned up, we kind of found out that this end was meant to be slightly deeper. Come down here, there was fish showing
Yeah, we saw
in
fish.
front of our swims. Would you have done things massively differently if you turned up again?
I don't think so. Like, I had a lead about, couldn't find anything particularly feature-wise.
Yeah.
So I gave myself a horizon marker, made a spot myself with bait. It paid off to an extent. We had more fish than anyone else on the lake yesterday.
Yeah, it's been very quiet.
But,
hasn't
and I
it?
haven't heard, there's a few more anglers here today, haven't heard or seen a single other fish come out.
No.
So it's not excuses, it's just as it is, this session hasn't been kicked off and it hasn't been for anyone else by the looks of things.
Be
So-
interesting to know if you were to turn up.
Oh, they'll tell us anyway. I know the comment section, they'll tell us anyway.
No, but be modest. If you guys were to turn up in a similar situation, weather conditions, kind of how they are, or it's been obviously fairly cold, pretty wet and wild, how would you have approached it? Like, it would be interesting to see from a different perspective. because we get so focused into what we're doing, because obviously we've got to make a film as well as actually try and catch fish and all sorts. It'd be quite nice to see how other people would approach it.
Yeah, definitely. And again, in the next match or verses that we'll do, we'll go through, unfortunately, we'll go through the comments of this video, which I'm sure are going to be a bit more brutal than the ones from Drayton, just for the outcome of the match. But I'm still going home with a win, and that's all that matters, really. No one cares about anything else.
I've got to win next time. No, I can't let you go 3 ahead.
Yeah, we'll see. But only a 2-hour drive back for me. You've got a little bit longer.
Near enough 4 hours to get back.
That's a long old sulk drive, isn't it?
Yeah, a long way for a defeat, isn't it? Anyway, we hope you've watched it. Obviously, remember to subscribe to us so you see more of these sort of videos. Hopefully with more fish in the future. And follow us on all our various social media platforms, which are coming up along the bottom somewhere now.
So like the video if you did. Hopefully you did. And we'll see you again in the next one.
Yeah, well done.
Right, I'm going to go see if I can get banned from Barston Golf Course. I've got 24 hours worth of toilet inside me.
Yeah, I really need to go as well, so I'll probably catch you down there.